Hey, Fox.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you back. Some of our members will recognize you from a podcast we did last month, actually.
Yeah.
And everybody loved you, so I thought, hey, let's invite him to curate a show and select some art from our Februllage challenge, which you did.
Yes, and it was a blast. Y'all had some great submissions.
Right? I was like, what's going on? So, for anyone who doesn't know, Februllage is a huge thing where every day in the month of February, you get a prompt and you create a collage based on that prompt. I thought I'd throw a monkey wrench in it and ask the community to create a collage with more than 3 prompts and see what comes up. So a lot of amazing stuff came up. So thank you for joining me and doing this. I thought we'd talk a little bit about your selections. But before we do that, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Want to introduce yourself to all the people who you're new to?
Of course, of course. Thank you for having me. This is a great way to spend an evening. But I am Fox Carlson. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. Have lived in several pockets of the South, and I'm an architect by day and by trade, and at night and on the weekends, I would say, and always in my soul, am a collage artist.
Lovely. Wow, that's so exciting. An architect in different pockets of the South. I like the sound of that. So you selected some really exciting collages, and just looking at the names of the artists, they spanned the country and they spanned Europe. So we have an artist in the UK, we have an artist in France, we have an artist in Las Vegas, we have an artist in Virginia Beach. So it's all over the place. I'm really excited. So let's jump in. Actually, before we dive in, I just want to remind everyone that these collages that you curated and chose are going to be available for purchase through posters and prints. So that'd be amazing. The first one I want to talk about is a name that I can't pronounce, so that'd be a good place to start. And I love this artist. Actually, I love all of my members, and this is no exception. Karen ate Ouamara. I hope I said that right, Karen. So Karen did a few of these, and I should probably have the list of the ones she did, but I don't. I'm just drinking tea. You're the one that's living on the edge drinking coffee. So tell me a little bit about what caught your eye in this collage.
Oh, okay. Well, I immediately just was so drawn to this collage. I think when I look at work, there are two ways I feel like I'm captured by a piece. One is that you see it and it immediately draws you in. And then the second way I feel like is when you see a piece and it feels very obvious, but the more you look at it, there are all these layers and you kind of have to sink your way in. One's not better than the other. I'm just saying those are, I feel like, ways to perceive art. And this piece, when I saw it, just immediately grabbed me and pulled me in. I think because she uses such vibrant blues and yellows, and it's so bright, and the way that there are a lot of like the big blue brushstrokes and then the big yellow curves on the piece. It's very energetic, but it's incredibly controlled at the same time. Like this artist, I just looked at this and thought, this is someone who is so in control of what they are making.
I love that.
I don't always feel that way about my own pieces, but then, juxtaposed with this woman who's in the center and she's in black and white, and she's, got her hand on her chin and she's very pensive. But she also has these like streaks of red right outside of her eyes and on her wrist, and these sort of orange diamonds on her clothing. And it's this sort of like, I just get the sense that she's, I'm like, is she sitting in this chaotic world trying to make sense of it? Or is she creating this world? Like it's it's like all around her. And I just think it's captivating.
I love how the narrative kind of just starts unraveling, right?
Mhm.
And definitely one of the prompts she approached was wave. And kind of to the point that you were making about control, the waves are controlled, right? There is this like freedom and rhythm to the wave, but it is very controlled, encapsulated in these little orbs floating around her, the central figure. I also think it's really cool that the black and white image has no time, right? It's black and white, and there's this like nostalgia to it, but it could be a nun, it could be a person in the future, even perhaps, you know. I think there's something really rich about it, and the text. Anytime anyone uses text, I think it becomes so poetic. You use a lot of text in your work, right?
I do, yeah.
Where do you source your text?
Well, it depends. If you see, so a lot of it, if it looks handwritten, and especially if it's cursive that is illegible, that's probably mine.
Nice.
I think that because pieces I make feel really personal, it feels fitting and also like a little brave, I guess, to write on them maybe something I'm thinking about, what the piece is about, and then sort of like collage over it and around it, so that it's sort of there, but it's sort of obscured. But also, there are a lot of great, old letters that I shop a lot at estate sales, but on Etsy or eBay, you can get stacks of letters or postcards. And so some of the text in there is from that. I was working on a piece earlier today that is a couple of envelopes that I got at an estate sale in December. So
I love
a little bit of everything.
I'm obsessed with mark making, especially in language and cursive, like you're saying. When I was a kid, my aunt was taking a shorthand class, which does not exist anymore. And if for anyone that doesn't know what shorthand is, secretaries learned this whole different way of writing that looked like scratches. It almost looked like cuneiform. And I thought it was so beautiful. And I've been obsessed with it ever since. And so much to the point that I had my grandma write something which I want to tattoo on myself. And I had my dad do the same thing. So now I'm gonna be like my family yearbook, you know, like have everybody's scribble on me. I love it. So yeah, this is an amazing piece. I'm looking at it now. Follow Karen. She is at atomic.creations. No, atomic.creations. And you'll see on the bottom of the screen because I can't speak. So awesome. Thank you, Karen. Next we have Chris Knight, and he is on Instagram at ck.collageuk. Now, there are a bunch of prompts here. So before we stab the prompt situation, what caught your eye in this one?
I mean, the first thing that drew me in was the really bright pinks along sort of the bottom and the right edge of the piece, but then juxtaposed with this man who's standing in black and white, sort of mysteriously. And it's a great juxtaposition. But I really think, especially with that landscape in the back, with the mountain range, with the greens and the blues, those colors all just work so well together. Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, I love a torn edge, and that edge is just so nice and torn and crisp. Yeah, and there's this, again, go for it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, we should just really promote more torn edges. I just think those are the best.
Me too. And you know, it's really funny when I do it in on YouTube as I'm collaging, people always comment like, I love the sound of that torn, or that paper being torn. I'm like, yeah, that's a whole genre, right? I think I need to make some, like, what are they called, SMR or something like that?
Yeah, ASMR. You could absolutely, that's a market.
Listen, wherever we can get it. Yeah, I love also these the blues, right? Because I'm always obsessed with 3 points. Like, if you can put 3 points in your collage that kind of talk to each other, it just creates harmony. So here I see the blue in the mountains, I see the blue in the waves, and then I see a blue in the tape on the bottom. So the eye is just like jumping all over the place. Same thing with the pink that you mentioned, right? It's on the left and the right. It's right next to his body. Really, really beautiful. What prompts do you think are here?
Well, you said the first one, which is wave.
Yeah.
Which, and I will just add and say, I think that's really nice to have those points of, color or whatever that thing is that ties those pieces together. I mean, in this case, it's blue. Because sometimes when you look at a collage, or when I look at a collage, because there can be so many pieces of paper, it can be hard for your eye to know where to go. Yeah. And it's kind of nice when your eye can just sort of have this pattern to trace.
Absolutely.
Or trail, I guess.
Totally. A teacher taught me that in college, and the way that she phrased it was about the corners. So whenever you're making art or whenever you're making a painting, try to have one corner that is completely different from the rest, and that kind of creates again that jumping point for the eye. The eye must travel, as who said that? Vreeland said that. At any rate, okay, so we have the wave. What else do we have?
Okay, we have clouds.
Yes. Ding. Okay. You get 1 point.
Pressure.
No, pressure is not here.
I love a good, I love completing a task and getting things right. So there's literally nothing at stake, and I'm sweating a little.
Said the architect.
Truly. Sometimes I wake up and I think you should change professions. No, but
become a doctor.
Okay. Oh my word! I have so much respect for doctors. Could not even imagine. I could not imagine.
I could imagine their bank account. At any rate, okay, here we go.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I'm well, maybe it could be worth it, actually.
Marry a doctor.
Actually, that's a better plan. So potentially, did we say forest?
No, but yes, that's there. Ding. That's 2.
I think that's 3 because I've gotten cloud and wind.
Oh, there you go. And there's 8 altogether, so.
Oh my gosh, okay. I gotta really speed up. I'm potentially thinking climb.
No, it's not here. I didn't even realize that was a prompt. But I must have done it. But
suddenly I can't remember I don't remember what my climb was. Look, those last couple of Februllage days were all a little hazy.
Yeah.
But time, I guess, with 10 a.m., that makes sense.
Time, yes. Now I'm thinking, what did I do for climb? Okay, yes, good. So we have cloud, we have time, we have forest. Did you say cloud?
Yes.
Okay. Wave. Mm-hmm. And then, viewers, can you help out here? Go ahead, type in, we'll hear you. Okay, there's ink. There's
my next guess.
Stack, and that's kind of brilliant. The stacking of the gentleman with the stripes, that's so brilliant. Mm-hmm. Upside down, the text.
Yeah.
And the last one is newspaper. Cool, right? Yeah, the text in the back. Very cool, Chris. All right. This is another one of these artists that everything they do is just I'm in love, and I'm like, what? So fantastic. And they are in the UK. Next, we have an artist here in the States. She's actually French, but lives in Virginia Beach. Her name is Christine Pianin. Tell me, what did you think about this piece?
So the first thing that I was struck by is the precision in this piece. And actually, the first thing I was struck by is that this piece is absolutely beautiful. I'll start with that. And then secondly, that as a person who uses an X-Acto knife to cut things out and has also used it, I know how long it takes to cut out a freaking piece of paper. And this piece is so well and cleanly done. And I was really struck by that. To me, it's just a display of talent and also incredible patience that I also don't have all the time.
I love that. There's also something very sculptural about it, right?
It really is.
And I have the benefit of knowing a little bit about the artist. Christine is actually also a painter and a sculptor, and she does these amazing assemblages. And I think that really translates in some of this work. Now, taking a look at this, what prompt jumps out at you? And I'll read them after. But what prompt jumps out at you in this composition?
You're really putting me on the spot here. I'm gonna take a stab at a couple, but I think it could be. And I am sort of cheating. I do have the prompt. Oh, I don't know which ones she is, but I have the prompt.
Oh, good. Okay.
I was thinking potentially octopus could be one. I mean, I know there are a lot of snakes. No,
Wrong.
There's so many.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. No, one more try.
I feel like that's the kind of thing where, like, when I was in architecture school, we would like finish a project and then retroactively, right before the presentation, be like, "Here are all of the themes in this project." I'm like, retroactively, you should just say that you used another prompt in there.
Can I tell you that's exactly. Ding! Yes, that's completely correct. But going back to your statement, yes, that's exactly my advice to the artist when we were doing Februllage, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is a marathon. This is so hard." But if you kind of just jump in and create something, and then retroactively go like, "Oh, I can see a butterfly here. That brings me calm," or whatever. So
Exactly.
take that. Use it however you will, guys. So there are three. There's calm. There is escape, and there is disturbing. That's kind of cool, right? Because I could see the snake is kind of disturbing. And I also I'm really taken by the black space, right? This void that's really beautiful and rich. So you can follow Christine at Christine Pianin on Instagram. Does amazing work. Very cool, Christine. Let's look at Denise Cheng's next. So Denise is in Henderson, Nevada, adjacent to Las Vegas. And Denise did just about all of them on her collage. So can you tell me what strikes you in Denise's collage? What jumped out first?
Okay, I just have to say, the thing that jumped out at me first, Denise, if you're watching this, is that it looks like you had so much fun making this piece, and that translates really well.
I love that.
You can tell. You can tell. Like, when I have fun making a piece, I look back and I'm like, oh, you can tell that I had a good time. This piece is so playful, and it feels sort of irreverent, and I don't really know why, but in the best way. And I just think it's just sort of punk. I just love it.
I think you're absolutely right. I hadn't even thought about it within that context, because again, I love everything she does, and because I know a little bit about her, I see her, and so Denise is a twin. So right at the dead center of the collage is a twin, right? You see the Diane Arbus twins?
I do now. Yeah.
And then it kind of just all like flowers out from there, and I'm like, oh, this must be like the fun they had, right? So we have twins. She has, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 prompts. All right, let's get to work. What do you see?
All right, well, I see cat. We'll start with 1.
Yes, cat.
Day 2, we have sisters.
Yes.
Day 3, we have octopus.
Yes.
I think that's an octopus. No, okay. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm trying to go in order. We've got. Do we have escape?
Yes, I can read my handwriting. Yes, we do.
Such a roll. I was getting nervous.
Where do you see escape? Is it the guy in the bottom right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But also the idea that, it's definitely him. I think he's running away from that flame.
Nice.
We have. Okay, wait. I lost my place. I'm just gonna start naming them. We have, time.
Yes.
And we have, is fire one, or did I just make that up?
I think you made that up. Oh, no, it is. It is.
Okay, is it?
Oh, yeah, and the waves are there too.
I almost didn't see them.
That's brilliant.
Which is hilarious. I see wheel.
Yes.
Which could also potentially be upside down.
Mm-hmm. Oh. That's really smart. That's really smart of you to think of that. But no, it's not.
Okay. Let's see. Do we have?
We have the elusive one. we have disturbing. I had a really hard time like coming up with something that's disturbing, and even saying like, "Oh, this is disturbing," feels a little weird to say a collage is disturbing.
Yes, because the two that I made for disturbing, because I made one, and then I thought, "Oh my gosh, I love this," but it's not disturbing. Like I love it, it's not disturbing. And then I made a second one and was like, "Well, this isn't disturbing either. It's just a cool collage." And then I sent it to like my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, these are definitely disturbing." So,
what were they of?
One was this woman. I think it was it Nancy Reagan? I can't remember now, but it was a historic. I think it was Nancy Reagan. But then I had cut out a TV and like put it over her face, and then just put "boo" beside it. And then the other one was this girl who was like, it was from like a 1950s headache ad, and so she's like covering her head, and they're like birds up above. And I was feeling very like Ingrid Bergman from Birds, the Birds.
Very.
I love them both. But
yeah.
Anyway, wait, which one was your disturbing? Do you remember?
I don't remember. Let me see. Oh, I did a little box. Actually, Denise bought this one. Hey, Denise, thanks. Denise owns this piece. So I did a little box, and I guess the idea was the idea of being boxed in, right? The idea of not coming out of your shell, not living your authentic self, which is really scary to me. So that was mine. It's called Unhinged. Yeah. Wow, isn't that crazy? That was just a few days ago, and like
completely gone.
Completely gone. Next, we're moving on, right? Okay, so we still have like 20 more to go. No, I'm just kidding. So we have hide and seek.
Okay.
We have upside down. We have float. We have hide and seek. And climb is the last one I think that we haven't talked about.
Okay.
How
huge props to Denise for putting all of them in there.
How amazing. I am amazed and in love with how much detail is in this piece. But I also love the balance that she's created by putting those 3 dots on the top and on the bottom, which kind of also reminds me of Las Vegas, because it kind of reminds me of a playing card, come to think of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the 3 of diamonds or 3 of something. And I love that butterfly.
Not to give us all one more thing to do, but a deck of cards that were designed by a collage artist would be really cool.
Isn't that? Yeah. So our first show was tarot cards, which are like, these esoteric divination cards. And Denise was also, actually a lot of the artists who chose were also part of that exhibit, which is really interesting. I think. But yeah, so this has been really fun. What was your favorite collage that you created for Februllage?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm looking at the prompts to remind myself. Actually, day 3, Octopus, was probably my favorite piece. It was probably my hardest one of the challenge, because I was still sort of getting warmed up, and then I had to look through like 20 different books to find something that even resembled, either was an octopus or just resembled one. Yeah. And I ended up finding this old black and white photo of these girls' hands in gloves, and they were kind of like overlapping each other, and they were sort of tentacle-ish.
Nice.
And it really surprised me, because I was sitting there in my apartment so late at night on the 3rd day of February, being like, this is so dumb. I cannot believe I'm going to be doing this for a month. I'm just going to quit now. And it ended up being, I think, my favorite one.
That's so cool. Yeah, if all of these challenges are so exciting, because they really do push you to the edge, right? So
they really do.
With mine, I think one of my favorite one was I did diorama, and I tend to stay away from dioramas because they're not easy to store. I can't, I'm anti-clutter because I live in a small apartment. But yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun to play with that, which I guess might be cheating because it's not really a collage, but who cares? It was really fun. And I think that is the magic of these challenges, right? To really kind of, again, go outside your box and have fun. There is another one called Februllage, which is happening in September. Are you going to play?
I think I will.
Right?
I felt personally like I grew a lot, which is really cliche to say. But I try to make a piece, or at least part of a piece, every day if I can. But it was a really very difficult but rewarding challenge to have to finish a piece every single day of the month. And I think I'd love to do that again in September.
For sure. Let's do it. So Fox, thanks so much for hanging out with me in this very unscripted, unhinged conversation. Where are you, so we know? I think you might have mentioned it, but say it again.
Yes. First of all, unhinged and unscripted is basically how I live my entire life. So you're very welcome.
Awesome.
But I am living in Atlanta, Georgia right now.
Awesome. And where can we find you? What is your website? What is your handle?
Oh, yeah. So you can find my website at foxcarlson.com. And then you can find me on Instagram at Fox Carlson Art.
You will not be disappointed. Also, if you're a member, you can listen to our conversation on our podcast backlog. Fox, such a pleasure. I can't wait to work with you again. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Thanks. You as well.